Good evening, friends, and welcome to the 28th iteration of the Bill Crane Report with my friend Duane Weiss and I. We've got a lot of things to cover tonight, and hopefully we'll educate you, amuse you, infuriate you, and all the other emotions in between.
Without a doubt.
Duane has a couple of things to kick us off with.
Last week we talked about the freebies. Be careful. Sometimes what they say free, it's not free. Actually, it says free, but this was, remember we had the million pieces of jewelry worth $100 million that were free? You just send them to $24.99. But it has to be in cash or postal money order. I didn't notice that last week.
Glorioski.
Yeah, you know why, Bill? Obviously you do.
I think, yeah, because if you use a credit card and you get junk in the mail, you can dispute it.
Or if you got a check, you can stop payment on the check.
Exactly, if you get junk in the mail.
Well, you get what you think you were going to get for $24.99 and it's crap. You can't stop payment on anything.
No,
well,
sir.
Guess what? This week is in the paper. Free art.
This is great.
And this is free art, and it's not posters. They make it's a limited edition, fine art prints, not posters. Absolutely free of charge. Again, no checks, no credit card. Postal money order or cash.
Yeah, and you've got to send them how much?
$6 for each print.
$6 for each print. So if you get
10 prints, that's $60.
$60. And when you get them and you're appalled by them, you can perhaps wrap fish in them.
Or do something with them.
Yeah, use them to line the canary cage.
Here's the interesting point. Different company. But coincidentally, the same address as the free jewelry.
You know,
how could that happen?
I don't know, and I'm a very innocent kind of guy, and I just can't believe that.
What I want to ask you, Bill, how do they stay in business?
Giving stuff
away. Everything is free from that company.
They must have, the owner of that place must have a heart the size of a 55-gallon drum.
His name must have been Carnegie. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think you got it.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it.
All right, well.
By gosh.
Just be careful what's out there, folks.
Yeah, when something is free, my friends, guess what?
It's not.
It's not. It isn't.
It's not.
Because no company could stay in business giving stuff away.
Just
like our friends, the car dealers.
Oh, yeah.
When it's too good to be true, guess what?
It is too good to be true.
Today, we're recording our show on August 14th, and this is VJ Day.
Yes, it is.
The day the Empire of Japan surrendered unconditionally. World War II was finally over, nearly 4 long years after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, setting all the wheels in motion. And we talked about this last week, about the run-up to it and the dropping of the atomic bombs. This is the Japanese now. Their group, their controlling group, was 6 people.
Yep.
And they were broken down, 3 and 3. Mm-hmm. 3 wanted to accept unconditionally and get the war over with. And the other 3 were the hardliners.
The 3 generals.
That's right. And they wanted to die with their boots on.
They said Japan will cease to exist.
That's
cease
right.
to exist, and we have our choice.
Yeah. Yep. So the sticking point in this was the Emperor Hirohito, because in the Japanese religion, Emperor Hirohito is said to have descended from the gods.
He's a
god.
deity. Yep.
Yeah. So they did not want us taking him as prisoner. They wanted guarantees that he would remain a free man in his home and all of that sort of thing. And we Mickey Moused the words so that the Japanese finally did accept it. But the 3-3 standoff still continued, even with the Mickey Mouse words that we would take care of him, whatever that meant. And they sat down, and the emperor didn't speak at any of these meetings. Sometimes he sat in on them, but he never really spoke. This time, he said, "Lay down your weapons. It's over."
For many of the Japanese, it's the first time they heard his voice.
That's right. Yeah.
They couldn't even look at him.
Yes.
If he was going down in his carriage or something, they had to avert their eyes.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Hirohito means abundant benevolence.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so that was it, my friends. Once he spoke those words, the hardliners rolled, and the word went out. One of the hardliners, and I forget which one it was, did the ritual disembowelment the next day and killed himself. And strangely enough, the one that we vilify the most, Tojo, was one of the ones who saw that this war could not be won, and we should throw in the towel. The other thing, there's been a couple of historians that have reflected, especially on some of Hirohito's papers, that it wasn't necessarily the 2 atomic bombs that changed their thinking. It was the Russians declaring war. And they were deathly afraid of the Russians coming and invading Japan.
They should have been.
That's right. They're a cruel bunch.
Cruel bunch. Where they raped and pillared all of Europe. They would have just ran over that country. Terrible.
It would have been terrible. Yeah. So, the war is over, and that is that. I've got a few interesting things from the TV and the radio the last couple of days, and I'm going to ask you, what do you make of this stuff? New Hampshire, Franklin Pierce University survey.
I know where you're going.
Bernie Sanders, 44%. Hillary Clinton, 37%.
Well, she's got to be hearing footsteps.
Now, if we go back, wasn't this about a 60-10 deal?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's going on?
Well, as I said, she hears footsteps over her shoulder. She's got to be starting to pay attention to this.
Why the big shift, though?
You know, I don't know. I have some personal opinions, but that's what they're worth, is just personal opinions. I think people are just getting tired of her.
They've been around long enough, the Clintons.
Yeah.
My wife has a little interesting spin on this, too. And for you folks out there that know Sue, you know she's a lot smarter than I am. And she said, you know, this business about it's time for Hillary. Her time has come. Or it's time we had a woman in the White House. She said, you know, this really infuriates me. Because what it's basically saying is, we women can't think.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's affirmative action.
Yeah, well, we got to do this. I mean, it doesn't matter whether she'd be a good president or not.
No, it's affirmative action.
Doesn't matter whether she has any ideas. And she said, to think that we women are going to just follow with lockstep for this. She said, it's ridiculous.
That is
well, you know
but
what?
She's right. You know.
Yeah, and some of these numbers coming out are beginning to show that. They also begin to show she's not trustworthy in the eyes of the public.
A lot of us had come to that conclusion a long time ago. I think it just takes a while for the rest of the, like you and I are probably smarter than the average bear, of course. Don't believe
now,
that.
wait a minute.
Don't believe that.
There's going to be some...
I threw that in for a reaction. but I think just the rank and file are just starting now to realize that.
I think all you have to do is look at the history of this family.
Some will never come to that conclusion.
That's right.
They're blinded by the fact that Hillary's Hillary. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
But there's that big center population And it takes a while, and then finally it'll filter in. And
Yep. Yeah. And you and I talked about this some months ago. In fact, we came to the conclusion she would not be the nominee of the Democratic Party. I don't know whether we should pat ourselves on the back quite yet, but she certainly has got her share of problems. And this business about not talking to the common people, the common people are saying, well, if you don't talk to me, babe, the heck with you.
she stepped in it when she did that.
She sure did.
She stepped in it big time.
She's afraid. She is terrified of some of the questions they're going to ask. So as a result, she just will not entertain questions.
Put that wall up and just
That's
ignore them.
Yeah. On the Republican side of things, Donald Trump, 22. Now, I did this on the run on television, okay? So I may have these numbers a little wrong, but
That's
basically,
pretty close, I think.
Donald Trump, 22%.
Yep.
Dr. Ben Carson, 14%.
Running second, yep. They were the only two double digits.
John Kasich was at 12.
Was he? Okay.
Yep. And Carly Fiorina has risen from the ashes, and she's at 7 now. And Donald Trump is quite a phenomenon. There's a piece in my stuff here. I'll probably never get to it. But it says, Hillary says, he's having the time of his life. He's a showman. He's an entertainer, and he is laughing his way through all of this. In other words, he's not a serious candidate.
Yeah, that's what she. Well, what's she going to say?
I think that she's got to hope like hell. He's not a serious candidate. Well, I felt queasy with Donald Trump and some of the things he said. The business about insulting women is pure ignorance.
That was, and the John McCain thing.
Yeah. Oh, John McCain. And the John McCain thing.
Like I said before, she stepped in it. He stepped a big pile that time.
With both feet.
With both feet. If he'd have stayed away from that subject, there was just no reason to go there.
Now, I'm looking for the Red Sox the other night on TV, and I goofed up and I found out it was an afternoon game and they had lost 14-6.
Yep.
So I said to myself, click, 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 what else is on? Guess what? I ended up with Fox Financial.
Yep.
Lou Dobbs show.
Lou Dobbs.
And Lou Dobbs said in the first part there where he reintroduces the show, my first guest, Donald Trump. I will ask him 5 questions, and he has told me he will answer them honestly and forthrightly.
You ask him 5 questions, he'll answer 10.
Well,
he'll answer 5 that you didn't even ask.
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
No, he must have got his Demerol or something.
Well, okay.
Because it was very impressive.
Well, I don't doubt that the man is smart. There's no.
Yeah, you don't graduate.
And cagey. I mean,
you don't graduate from the Wharton School.
No, you don't.
If you're a Dumbo. You know. First question, and I got these out of order.
Okay.
I forget which one was the first one, but
you must have said it right fast.
I did. Obamacare.
Yep.
What is your stand on Obamacare? He said, I will repeal it immediately and replace it with a much better plan that will give everyone access to a lot of insurance companies. You can cross state lines. He said, we're going to remove a lot of this. And he said, we have to do it before 2016 because that's when some of the enormous costs start
kicking in. Yep.
He said, so we've got to do this.
Can't argue with him there.
That's right. Planned Parenthood. Will you stop government support of Planned Parenthood? He said, no. He said, because Planned Parenthood does a lot of good. But he said, I will eliminate government funding for all abortion services. I am pro-life. No abortion funding.
That's fair because the country is so split on that.
Yeah.
That
and by the way, there's some great new data on abortion. Do you know 71% of the people in this country oppose some form of abortion? Yeah. So this isn't a decided deal. And the young people, The young people are coming out against abortion too.
That's a swing. That's
That is a
change.
swing. Yes. Immigration. What's your stand on immigration? I will build a big wall, and there'll be a big door in the center that says, for legal immigrants only.
Yep. Hey, but see that the other side on immigration will pick up on that thing. Then he said, and Mexico will pay for it. That was just a something thrown out. It was another stupid little thing that he should have shut his mouth about.
Yep.
Because when you get things like immigration today, you remember the silent majority?
Sure.
Well, the silent majority is bigger and more silent than they ever been.
That's right.
But they're still there.
Yeah. A lot of the silent majority, though, are illegal aliens that cannot vote.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, I think. The silent majority did vote.
Yep.
You know. Gun control. I am an NRA member, and so are my two sons. We're all
I'm a former
excellent
hunter.
shots.
Came out of the Midwest where we did this.
And I
Everybody
support
did.
the Second Amendment totally. That, and folks, your host here had a second piece of paper with the fifth thing on it, and somehow or other I got it separated here.
That's okay.
Perhaps I'll find it. But he was down to earth. He was calm, totally under control. Because Lou Dobbs is one of these guys. He doesn't brook a lot of nonsense.
No, he doesn't.
And I'm sure that he and Trump know each other quite well. And I'm sure he invited Trump on, and he said, this is a chance for you to present what you really mean here on my show. But I don't want you going off.
You know what I think it has to happen, and it probably has happened now, is that whoever his advisors are have to tell him, stop imagining that you're still on your TV shows, where you acted, you were a persona that you tried to portray.
Yeah.
Stop that. That's gone now. You got to be the politician. You've got to be a.
You've got to act like a grown-up.
That's right.
You know, see, the problem with him is he is still the showman.
Sure.
He still has to be bigger and louder
Oh, absolutely.
and look at me kind of deal. And that's going to go so far. But But let me just say this about that and contradict ourselves here for a second.
Well, we do that all the time. But that's what makes it interesting because we don't
rehearse this stuff.
No, and we don't dwell on one. If we're wrong or we change our mind, we'll go through a subject and we'll go halfway, and one of it makes the other comment because I think, yeah, I think you're right. We got to start over from square one again.
Donald Trump is a phenomenon that the Globe, the New York Times, is saying, yes, look at him. He's a buffoon, a big-mouthed buffoon who is singing to the choir of rednecks.
Yep.
Because normal people don't pay any attention to this stuff.
Oh,
well,
that's
guess
wrong.
What? That's right.
That's wrong. They do pay attention to this stuff.
That's right. And do you know I don't know whether he did this deliberately. I don't know whether anybody is smart enough to do this. But what has happened is there is, among people that follow politics and really understand what's going on in this country, that hate politicians because of their doublespeak.
Yep.
Say one thing, mean another. Just lie. I mean, outright lies.
Oh, that used to. You go through their campaign speeches and think.
Yeah.
And then they get in office. That's not what you said in their campaign.
No, that's not what I meant to do. This guy, like it or not,
Yep.
is telling it like it is. A lot of people may not agree with him, but 24 million of them tuned in to see that debate.
Yep. If he hadn't been on there, half those people wouldn't have been
That's
watching.
exactly
right.
Yeah. this guy's not going to go away.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Well, it'd kind of be an embarrassment to him if he did. And he's very conscious about being embarrassed at anything.
Is he ever? Is this what I think it is? Oh, good.
Good.
Maybe I'll just continue on in this vein for a moment or
Okay.
two, and then I'll get back to the other stuff I want to talk about. Politicians lying.
Oh, they're going to legislate that. That was funny.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz, folks. Can you believe that?
Can you believe that? Well, there's all, and by the way, these two people that I'm going to tell you about are both Republicans. Okay? Todd Corsa from the Michigan House of Representatives had an affair with State Representative Cindy Gamrat. He's married. So, he's caught.
Well, he allegedly had an affair.
Yeah. So, in order to, now, folks, only a politician could do this. There is no normal human being that would ever think of this. He had an email sent to his Republican supporters falsely claiming he had been caught having sex with a male prostitute.
Yep.
Apparently believing such a smear campaign would help distract attention from an alleged extramarital affair between him and a female lawmaker.
This is, you have to see this. It's hard to believe, but when I read this, I said, what?
Yeah.
What? Then I looked at it again. It's like going in a big circle to make some kind of logic sense.
Yeah.
To divert your attention from one, to put it to the other, attention to the other. It makes sense when you see it all laid out, but
Doesn't.
diabolical?
So he asked an aide, Ben Graham, to email GOP activists and operatives from an anonymous account to create this smear campaign against him. Graham refused. So he fired him. And then, 2 days later, the email finally went out. But this kid Graham, hats off to you, son. You did the right thing.
Yep, you stood up.
That's right. Can you imagine? Well, we're going to beat this subject to death. Only a politician could do this.
Yep. This ranks right up there with some of the best scripts that Hollywood ever came up with.
That's right.
For a storyline.
Absolutely. You know what? If you and I decided to sit down and write a book, the publisher would say, well, we're going to throw this out. Nobody would believe anybody would do this.
Oh, look at this stuff.
Man, I got to tell you something. I'm going to say, I got one more thing here, and I'm going to then get you involved here and so that you can rave. But I wrote a little mini editorial. I am just absolutely fed up with the mayor of Boston and Stephen Wynn fighting over the
Me too.
gambling casino. It is written that the pursuit of money, wealth, is the root of all evil. Stephen Wynn and Boston Mayor Martin Walsh are fighting a battle on a daily basis on the siting of a gambling casino. This battle is being fought over money and power, and the greed and hatred being manifested is there for all of us to see and to be appalled by. So this is what it's like at the top. It's like two coyotes tearing at a deer they've brought down, snarling at each other as one tries to rip off more meat than the other. Let's hope the kids are not watching this pitiful display. For you see, This is a glimpse of the real world. This is business and politics at its worst, laid out in broad daylight for us all to see. Two men high up on the food chain, snarling and growling over a carcass. Doesn't get much worse than this. Stephen Wynn will survive no matter what the outcome and go on his way pursuing wealth. The mayor can kiss any idea of a second term goodbye and will return to his union hall, and the city of Boston will be the better for it. In closing, please let us reflect on this final thought. This mayor and his allies tried to convince this world they could handle the 2024 Olympics. They cannot even cite a gambling casino. How pathetic. But in conclusion, let me conclude this editorial by apologizing to the Coyotes. I'm sure they do not appreciate being compared to politicians. They do their business honestly and upfront. They kill to eat and eat to live.
Very good.
End of soliloquy.
Yep, that was there was a lot of points in there.
Yeah.
You're right. I think Mr. Walsh is shooting himself in the foot with this thing.
He
He's going to come out in the loser.
He is, and you know what? Nobody's going to say much of anything to him right now because he's the mayor. He controls the press strings.
Whatever he does, it looks like sour grapes.
That's right.
He didn't get his way.
That's exactly right.
He had a chance to mitigate this thing. He had a chance to sit down and meet with Wynn. He had another chance with the just today with the traffic thing. He refused. He absolutely refused to. Well, then of course you got to take what's given to you because you didn't even put your request in.
For heaven's sakes!
And
I mean,
not only he's making Massachusetts, but Boston and the state look like which it is, a terrible place to do business.
Look,
you can't come in here and do business.
He put his money on the wrong horse.
That's right.
He bet on Suffolk Downs.
Yep.
As the spot.
He literally put it on the wrong horse.
Yeah. So I mean, when you go to the racetrack, you can't very well go up to the window with your losing ticket and say, "Hey, give me a winner for this, will you?"
Yeah. I want to trade this one in.
Wait till year 3 of his 4-year term, and his potential enemies come out. They're going to carve him up like a turkey on Thanksgiving.
Not only that, where did he come from? The unions.
That's right.
Who benefits from this thing in Everett?
Oh,
the unions, the trade unions, the construction
do.
unions, the laborers, the housekeepers, everything.
They're going to do work on the streets.
His opponent is going to say, look what he did for labor and what didn't do for labor.
That's right.
He had the opportunity of 6,000 or 7,000 jobs right here, and he just threw them away.
Tossed them away.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? This is getting to the point where it's not going to be decided at any point. So, I mean, they almost need Mo to come together, grab them both, and bang their heads together, and say, "Now smarten up, you pair of idiots."
I don't know how much resolve, I should say money, because with Wynn it's going to be money, resolve he will put up with at some point. Just say, "To hell with it, I'm walking. You can have it." I don't know if he'd ever do that.
He was advertised. He was interviewed in the Globe, and he said, "I'm not leaving."
Did he? Well, he probably. You know, he also said that just this week that he anticipates this Everett Casino is going to cost for 400-room hotel complex.
Yeah.
Going to cost him more than some of the biggest 2,000-room complexes.
More than the Bellagio.
Yeah. And it's a minuscule by comparison, but all these bureaucratic studies and hindrances and studies and delays.
Do you think there's any of this going on?
Of course there is.
Think he's had
They're all looking for
feed a few of the donkeys?
And the most absurd ones, you know, something with the MBTA, and they didn't get somebody's signature on this document, and they didn't ask permission from this guy, you know. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah. You didn't talk to the traffic department? Now they're going to have to launch a study. It's going to take a year to figure out Sullivan Square. You should have done that. But you know what, though, Mr. Wynn? If you
Yeah,
I'm sure I can get them to do something in a couple
Speed it
of
through,
weeks. Yeah. Oh, God. What a state this is.
Oh yeah, it's
Unbelievable. You got anything to rant about? Because I got nonstop ranting.
I got rants. That's all I got today.
Here's one. I got
ahead.
one. Tourist fatally gored in a Spain bull run.
Oh my God.
Tell me something. Is aside from his immediate family, is there one person in the world that cares about that? Because I sure as hell don't.
Well, you know what that is, Bill.
Lunacy.
That's nature's way of eliminating the stupid.
We ought to have bull runs in this country.
You ever seen the Animal Planet where these wildebeest and gnus are getting this massive migration, and they come to this one river, and it's loaded with crocodiles. And these crocs been waiting 6 months for these guys to show up, and they're hungry. And you know what? Many of them, they back away from the river. No. You always get that one stupid one that goes, "What's that floating log out there?" And he's got to walk out and see what it is. Well, boom, he's the first one to go. That's nature's way of eliminating the stupid.
Yep.
They take that stupid gene out of the gene pool, and the rest of them are better off for it.
Oh, God. You know, that's the truth.
It is.
I mean, these
We used
people.
to, honest to God, I used to say that my wife would hate this. There's some motorcycle going like hell down with no helmet. And she'd look at that fool. I said, well, he's just beefing up the gene pool.
That's it. That's
He's
it.
just gonna.
He'll be among
eliminated, yep.
those being eliminated. I'll tell you.
PC, we're not, folks.
No.
Uh,
No. And criticism continues as the debate nears. So many people are criticizing. This is an older article that was published prior to the debate in New Hampshire. And one of the things, too, that the Democrats were accusing the Republicans of just being knuckleheads. You got 16 candidates.
hard to believe.
And you can only have 10 in, the divine 10. What about the other 6? And how can you possibly have a debate with all 16 of them? Why don't you have 4 debates of 4 each or so? But they had lots and lots of criticism for the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
The Democratic candidate hasn't spoken to a human being yet. You don't call the D's stooges human, do you? Because that's all she talks to is stooges, pre-programmed stooges that have their question on an index card and ask her. Here, the Republicans have a free-for-all, a battle in the mud, slinging it at each other, and they're criticized because there's too many of them,
Yeah.
or it's unruly, but their standard bearer will not answer questions.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible. It's just.
Unbelievable.
You see this? No, you're an NRA
Lay it
member.
on me.
You're comfortable around guns.
Yes, sir.
Shootings are on the rise, but fewer are dying.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
I don't know.
Tells
I'd have
me
to
that-
read it.
Tells me they're damn poor shots.
Yeah, that could be.
That the crime is not going away.
No.
It's going up all the time. But the fact that there are fewer dying, I think you got what I really think is you got a lot more of these young gangbangers coming in. They're 14, 15 years old, packing a gun for the first time. They don't know how to use it. They're shooting
No,
and they're
there's no-
wounding and they're indiscriminately shooting, but they're
There's no ranges for the gangbangers at 14 to practice on.
no. That's what I mean. You
Yeah.
got a lot of they're getting more violent, more dangerous. This is not a good sign that fewer are dying. I would not hang my hat on that statistic.
Yeah. And there was, 5 shootings in Boston yesterday and last night?
3 dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I imagine Police Commissioner Billy Evans is going to come out and say, we will not tolerate this any longer.
He already
That's
did.
the only words that he says.
Yep.
I mean, he says it after every single shooting. why the hell doesn't he do something?
Yeah.
I mean, look, this state desperately needs a stop and frisk law that will pass constitutionally.
You are so right. We tried this.
Did you hear that, folks? I know it, yeah.
Mr. Crane is correct. We tried this a few years ago when the Roxbury area, Jamaica Plain, and Dorchester, they said that we don't care because blacks are dying. So what did, I forgot who the police commissioner was and who the administration
Davis,
was.
I think.
Davis, yeah. He instituted this stop and frisk. So they were starting to go into Roxbury and they start stopping and frisking.
Yeah, when you see a kid walking down with something about the size of a loaf of bread under his shirt.
Yeah, or they stopped him with a long shirt with a piece of shotgun sticking, a
Yeah.
sawed-off shotgun sticking down. They stopped it. Lo and behold, they were finding guns and guns and guns and guns. What happened after that? The local leaders in Roxbury, the church, the Reverend so-and-so and so on, you are harassing our young black men. You can't do that.
Why are they being singled out?
Why are they just being singled out?
Because your neighborhoods are the most dangerous in the city of Boston. You asked for our help. We're trying to take the guns off the street. You've said to us, get the guns off the street. We're trying to take them off the street, and now you're saying,
It's
you're
racist.
stopping the black youths.
Yep.
Well, guess what, folks? Guess who's packing the guns?
You know, this statistic came out a long time. The first time I ever heard it used was Mayor Koch. Now, you can't blame him for saying he was a conservative. He was an ultra liberal,
Screaming liberal.
and he got some heat for this. He made statistics, and I don't remember what he said, but he said it was approximately 80% of the black, or maybe 80% of the murders in New York City were committed by black people. Then he followed up with another statistic, but 90-some% of the people that got shot were also black, committed by other blacks. Now, when he said that, they went crazy. When they found out his statistics were too mild, they were even higher than what he said. And right now, the biggest leading cause of death in a young black male is another young black male.
That's right.
That's the leading cause of death over cancer, auto accidents, everything.
And do you know what, Duane? You cannot lend any credence to anyone who is howling Black Lives Matter.
No, because it doesn't among,
they don't. In their neighborhoods,
among themselves, it doesn't matter.
Killing each other. And by the way, folks, Duane and I are not bigots.
No, we're not. We're good.
I pray for the day when we don't have these discussions anymore. We don't refer to one another as blacks, whites, Latinos,
Asian.
but we refer to them as human beings. And if we could take that out of the equation right now, we could calm down a lot of the rhetoric.
Yep.
We are disarming young hoodlums,
That's right.
young lawbreakers.
We don't see race and ethnic backgrounds. No, my daughter-in-law is Chinese.
Yeah.
So my grandkids are mixed. I don't see that as, I don't even see her as Chinese. I just see her as Noreen. You know?
Yeah. Well, in my family, I mean, one of the members of my extended family is a Democrat.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
see, I mean, you don't see me all up in arms.
I'm not sure I got any of that.
But
But anyway, what we're trying to say is we're not sitting here with a racist bias.
no,
You got to look, that's the problem today.
you can't.
As soon as you approach this subject, you're right away labeled racist if you don't follow the political correct line.
You're exactly right. But we can't be afraid to talk about this.
That's right. You can't
Because
ignore the elephant in the room.
if you can't talk about it, we're never going to solve it.
No, never.
And take a look. Exhibit A, in case any of you folks are noticing, Exhibit A, proof of what I just said, sits in the White House.
Yep.
Okay? He has never had a serious conversation with this country about race. He cannot bring himself to do it. Eric Holder was no better.
Yep.
I mean, here is the Attorney General, and he won't?
He can't even put the word Islamic terrorist together.
Yeah, I mean, golly. Oh,
I know.
well, I have one more thing here,
Okay.
and then I've got a series of madness.
Okay.
I've decided that either I'm going to help the Republican candidate for president by establishing the platform for him to run on, or if he rejects it, I'm going to run.
That's even better, folks. Hold on to your hats for election 2016.
Here it comes. No amnesty for people here illegally. No citizenship. A work permit? Yeah. Semi-permanent living in this country?
Yep.
Yeah. Break the laws? Gone.
Ask my daughter-in-law's father.
Yeah.
He's Chinese, and he spent lifetime getting his relatives over here.
Yeah.
And fortune, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but he did it year after year after year through the legal channels, and he cannot stand these people that just sneak in under the wire, so to speak.
By the way, none of this is in order. These are just thoughts that I got while I was doing this. A ban on all advertisements where men are made to look really stupid. Or at least an equal amount must be made where women look stupid.
I hate that. There's another one today that's very subtle. It's about selling your goods on this, like an eBay thing. She pulls up, the garage door opens, and she says, "Honey, did you clean out the garage?"
I know.
And he says, "No, I haven't had time." Then she's out there.
No, you're breaking up. You're breaking
up. Yeah, oh yeah. And then of course she takes over, and she's just got this boop, 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 and then just see this perfect garage, and
then she's dancing in the empty garage. Yeah, and if I see that ad about one more time, I'm apt to go berserk. Well,
berserker.
How can you go someplace?
Is there such a thing as berserker, or is it just more berserk?
No cell phones while driving.
Oh, I got something for that on.
Okay.
Whoa. Yesterday.
None.
Go ahead.
None whatsoever.
Yesterday I got a haircut, folks, believe it or not.
Good work.
We go to the same Dave, our barber.
Yep.
And I was crossing the street downtown Foxborough. And they got nice delineated crosswalks. And most people, you step out of that crosswalk, they stop.
They do.
A woman stopped with a gray compact car. I stepped, she told me to go ahead, and I stepped, started to stop up there. Another woman behind her was too impatient, in a great big SUV, on the phone, swings around the outside of her, and misses me about that far in the crosswalk. She
went over the double line?
She went, no, it was right at the intersection. She went up
around.
On the right side of it, right up.
Yeah.
And just irritated that this woman was going to stop for me in a crosswalk and damn near hit me in a crosswalk.
Yeah.
Where is a cop when you need one?
Boy.
But talking on the phone, had no clue what was going on.
Very busy.
Oh, very busy.
Multitasking.
Yep.
That's gone, folks. I'm not going to make it a capital offense, but
damn close.
Damn close. Limit lobbyists to one visit to the State House every 6 months for a half an hour only.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Build at least 10 new nuclear power plants and pass legislation that will provide fast-track permitting for these plants. Prohibit nonsensical court cases trying to block them. And anyone that does introduce a nonsensical court case is not only going to have it thrown out of court, but they're going to pay court costs also.
Oh, it should be. Some countries do this,
I know it. I know it. I mean, if these folks that want green energy and that want to get away from petroleum, we're going to go to nuclear power. It's proven and it's safe. Pass term limits for all state office holders to 2 terms.
2. Even stretch it to 3, but definitely a term limit.
Yep. Do the same for all local elections in towns with over 10,000 in population.
Yep.
These guys that run and they get elected for life, give me a break.
I like the guy in Foxborough that wanted to get himself,
Yeah.
what do they call
A town manager.
tenured.
Yeah. Tenured, yeah.
Make the job tenured so I don't have to rerun for election.
Like,
Come on.
brother. Revise automobile ads. All used cars advertised must clearly state the mileage on the odometer and clearly state the sell price. On new cars, the ad must state what equipment is on the car. All terms must be in large, clear type. Put serious teeth in the bait and switch trick.
You notice what they do now? That you'll see this ad for an automobile.
Yep.
Then they'll give the stock number.
Yeah.
They actually have one.
They've got one.
That's
Yeah.
all they got. But
Yeah.
that's why they've got the stock number underneath to protect
And
them.
you go down, we sold that
We sold that,
yesterday. Yeah. Couldn't stop the ad from running, yeah. We got some other stuff out here that is better. Outlaw robo phone calls.
Oh my God. They were, for a while there, that do not call thing was working pretty good. It seems to have broken down now.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, technology, these hackers are finding ways around things, but gosh, I mean, we have got to get serious about, we can put a man on the moon, but we can't stop these bozos from robocalls.
I would ask you if it's like your house, like our house. We now with caller ID,
Yeah.
if I'm watching TV or I'm not, I pick up the phone. If I don't recognize the phone number, I don't answer it anymore.
That's right.
I know we're missing phone calls that are legit.
Yep.
Because I got one the other day and it had a V number with a whole series of numbers across the top.
Yeah.
And it had a number I didn't recognize, and here to find out they left a message, and it was my doctor's office saying that they couldn't meet me at that particularly one to change the appointment time. Well, that was a legitimate call, but because you get so much of the garbage calls.
Sure. And you know
I didn't
the
answer.
garbage calls are the ones that don't leave a message.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And they now have technology too, where they come in to your territory and get a local phone number, a 617 number.
I'm getting calls with my own phone number on it.
Yes.
I said, how can I be calling myself? I'm sitting here watching Jeopardy.
Did you get up and look in the mirror and make sure you were
Yeah, I was
you? Were
going to go over there and call myself.
Establish long-term care insurance for all citizens.
Yep.
Part E, you can't have people sick and having their estate wiped out
No, that's not right.
by rest homes and nursing homes. I mean, there's got to be some help here. Reform the judiciary. This judge is soft on drug dealers. This one is a strong environmentalist. This one is tough on white-collar crime.
It's called judge shopping, is what
This
the attorneys do.
is madness.
They judge shop.
Their job is to interpret the law. That's it. Not establish themselves as a judicial rebel.
Yep.
Interpret the law or be removed. And we need to have an easier way of getting them off the bench, too, some of these clowns.
That's right. If you don't go to electing judges, you better have a system and process that they can be
Exactly. Impeached.
unappointed.
That's right. Speed up the judicial system. A person has a right in this country to a speedy trial. Why should a person accused of murder, no bail allowed, have to rot in jail for a year and a half, then be tried and be found not guilty? How is he compensated for losing 1.5 years of his life? I mean, let's get things streamlined and let's get these guys tried, convicted, or found innocent.
That's right.
But let's get judgment. Increase penalties for perjury and for refusal to testify. Refusal to testify, go to jail until you do. Make all motorcycles quiet. Where is the EPA?
Oh my God.
How can these bikes get a sticker? Noise and non-standard, non-functional exhaust systems.
Even with the functional exhaust systems, the decibel levels are so much higher than allowed with an automobile.
There are noise standards in the law. If I have a pinhole in my muffler or my tailpipe, I get rejected.
Yep.
And yet these things sound like a 10-ton truck backed in your ear. Why aren't these laws enforced?
Harley has patented their sound.
Yeah.
That real
But
rough,
you listen
loud.
to a Honda Gullwing or one of those other big bikes, they're as quiet as a mouse in church.
Yep.
Universal military government service for all citizens.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go in the Army.
Nope.
If you are not physically fit or have a real objection to it. But you can become a teacher's aide in an inner city school
For
system for
national
2
service,
years.
you could work in a national park. You
can absolutely
do anything.
You can be on the road gang, cleaning
Yep.
up the sides of the streets,
right.
making American beautiful again. You can work in depressed cities,
Yep.
tearing down buildings, hauling away trash.
But damn it, you should be doing something.
That's right. And give back. Switzerland, Sweden, and those countries, they got a great deal.
Yep.
I think it's 18 months. It was
Yep,
when I
it
was
is.
in
Yep.
Sweden anyway. You got to go in the service for 18 months. Then you bring your weapon home.
Yep.
And you keep it in your closet. You keep it clean. And it is a crime to dispose of your weapon. Double the size of the military. Use them to guard the borders. Provide emergency help for national disasters. Help maintain order during outbreaks of civil unrest. Now, here's the key. Use the military to be the security for airports and scrap the entire TSA failure.
TSA is a failure.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a joke.
An absolute joke.
They always fail their penetration tests when these people, the penetrators try to
They just walk
swap
right
through
through
a gun
them,
or
for heaven's sakes.
a fake bomb. They
Yeah.
never catch it.
No. National ID card.
No problem with that.
And listen, I mean, we listed one night on the show, 28 things you have to show an ID
for,
card to get to vote.
That's right.
None.
None.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They should be issued one color for citizens, one color for non-citizens. And by the way, when you take citizenship tests, all tests will be in English. All licenses, like driver's license, will be in English only.
Yep.
No exceptions. Going to be part of this country, you're going to be a part of it. Not on the outside talking your own language. By the way, that drives me nuts.
Oh, me too.
You go into like a McDonald's or a Burger King or something like that, and you place your order, and then you say to the person, I ordered a couple of cheeseburgers here like 5 minutes ago. Where are they? And
Yep.
where are they? And then the fellow yells in Spanish,
Yeah.
or in one case Russian,
Yeah.
out to the people in the back on the line asking about the food. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, that brings us back to I don't want to divert from your list.
No, that's it.
okay,
I'm pretty well gone.
Mr. Carson, just about finished with your book you so kindly let me read. That's Ben Carson, by the way.
Yep.
One of the candidates. He has a section in there on diversity.
Yes.
Diversity is not a cure-all. In fact, a lot of times it's a hindrance. He said, people that would come to this country would assimilate instead of separate. We would have a lot fewer problems. When you start living in a neighborhood that's just your own culture, you just do things with your own culture. You don't bother learning the language. You don't assimilate into the country. You are a little country under your own. Your problems become magnified then. You can see that it's happening in places like Germany and France. You got some of the Muslim immigrants coming in. They're not assimilating.
No.
They're putting their
of
own
course,
little group.
There's a reason for that.
Well,
The
yeah, of
Germans
course.
won't let them assimilate in.
Yeah, but they don't want to either.
No.
That's the thing.
No. No. Well, look at the enclaves up in Detroit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've got these huge enclaves of Arabic
Yep.
folks up there, and they have Sharia law, by the
that's
way,
right. Yeah.
which, by the way, is against our
against our
federal
laws,
laws. Yeah. And have we moved against that and straightened that out?
Nope.
Nope, we haven't. Homicide Division's number 2 is demoted
I saw that.
from the Globe. He's a African American, black fellow, and well, there's quite a kerfuffle about this
Yep.
because some fear the loss of a progressive voice. Community leaders disappointed by news. Okay, look, the commissioner of the Boston Police Department has got to run that outfit properly, like a paramilitary organization.
That's right.
And if someone gets promoted up past the level of his competence, he's got to do something about it.
Yep.
And so they have moved this fellow back to his previous rank. And this is the problem with diversity.
That's right.
We promote people based on their skin color,
Yep.
and not on their competence. Listen, I don't care if someone who is promoted is brown, green, yellow. It
Makes no difference.
doesn't matter as long as he or she is competent.
Yep.
And when we promote from promotion lists, we are not going to leapfrog people from the bottom to the top because of their ethnicity, their sex, or whatever. It is only when they are at the top of the list that they have passed the written test with flying colors and passed the physical test with flying colors and have the experience, then they can be promoted.
We cannot keep living in the past. In the past, they put affirmative action because of past shortcomings. Didn't
Yes.
get promoted because they were black. Well, that's the past. That's not today anymore. Okay, that's gone. We can't keep reliving the past over and over and over. We've got to move on.
Absolutely. Look, I couldn't. You said that perfectly. Got to stop looking in the rearview mirror.
That's right.
We got to look ahead. Golly. Well, my friends,
We got the high sign.
just got the high sign that once again we got to about 10% of our stuff.
15.
Yeah. I've enjoyed being with you again. I hope you folks have enjoyed it tonight. And
If you got some ideas, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd
Absolutely.
love to entertain them.
and
You don't agree with us, let us know too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And remember now, Friday is the day for death threats. I don't want to get death threats on Monday and Tuesdays. That
Definitely
just-
not Saturday or Sunday.
No,
either.
well, it's our day of rest. So, anyway, good night. God bless you.
Nice seeing you.
And have a good rest of the summer. And we'll see you next time.
Be kind to each other. Goodbye.